Hello, everybody. We are live at 5 right here from the Broadway.com studios. It is Thursday, May 31st. It's the last day of May. My name is Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And over there,
Hello.
Caitlin Moynihan,
Hey.
content producer Caitlin Moynihan. A fresh face on the Live at 5 scene. We like having her here. And speaking of fresh faces,
nice segue.
one of my favorite fresh face photo features we've done recently. Who's over there, Beth?
Adam Kaplan, who's so sweet, and he's here from a Bronx.
I know, he brought ginger shoes.
He brought a
He
present.
brought stuff. I love when people bring stuff. But first, we will talk to Adam. But first, today's top 5.
We got some great news because the Alexandria Ceremonial Police Orchestra is coming to a city near you.
I had no
Is that
idea
what
where
they're
you were
called?
going with that. I was like, wait a minute. I thought this is about the band's visit going on tour. That's what we're trying to say here. Caitlin was being very cute and telling you that Egyptian band that goes to the wrong city in the band's visit will indeed be coming to a city near you.
They're going to go to the right cities now.
Okay, then.
Places like Providence.
Everyone's a comedian on Thursday. So the first national tour is kicking off in Providence, Rhode Island, June 2019. So you gotta wait. Of course, the band's visit was nominated for 11 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, David Yazbek's show.
Is it the front runner to win?
I think so.
Well, you'll find out next week's The Broadway.com
You asked
show
me a
when we do our
question,
20
I
predictions.
answered it. Opened on Broadway November 9th last year, and is currently playing on Broadway at the Ethel Barrymore Theater. Great show.
Go see it. And, but we do have some bad news because it's only going to be 5 o'clock somewhere for a little bit longer.
She's
See
really
what I want to roll
She's
today.
good.
Good with the puns.
Let's keep her.
So, Escape to Margaritaville, which is over at the Marquis Theater,
Yes.
is ending its run, unfortunately, on July 1st. It will have played 124 regular performances at the time of closing. That's not a lot.
Nope.
You know, when you hear like 100, it's sad.
Yeah.
This is the Jimmy Buffett musical. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Great
if you
cast.
thought that maybe you might have a good time, go see it. It's terrific, and the cast: Paul Alexander Nolan, Alison Luff, Lisa Howard, Eric Peterson, all terrific. They will start a national tour. Probably not that cast, but a different cast. The show will start a national tour in October 2019. So last chance for Margaritaville. Another month.
Last call, in a way.
Ah,
I'm
cute.
just going. It's because Caitlin started it. I'm sorry.
And over the summer, Dolly and Horace are teaming up to save some animals.
That's right. It's almost time once again for Broadway Barks. This is Burnett Peters' passion. This time she's hosting it with Victor.
She won a special Tony for
Garber.
Broadway
She
Barks.
did win a special Tony for Broadway Barks. This is the 20th anniversary of Broadway Barks, which is pretty amazing. She started with Mary Tyler Moore, who passed away last January, January 2017, I should say. So it's nice that she got Victor Garber involved. And I think I want to go and get a dog. Don't tell my husband. I'm really excited.
Are you really?
I really
You
want
should.
to. He says he's allergic. It's a lie.
She's a tease.
Anyway, it's in Schubert Alley. And it starts, let's see, there's meet and greets, there's adoption. I went last year, actually. I didn't adopt, but I
You
went
were
last year.
cruising the dogs last year?
I was cruising. And cats. There are cats as well. It's really a fun event and wonderful.
That's awesome. And we are slowly learning a little bit more about the Tony Awards, and an incredible teacher is getting an incredible honor.
So every year now, I think this is the 4th year, they give out the Excellence in Theater Education Award to an educator somewhere in the country that's teaching theater. This year, Melody Hirschfeld, who is the drama teacher for 15 years, right?
Yeah, a long
Yeah.
time.
At Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Now, of course, we know about her because of the horrible shooting that happened there on February 14th. And she made news at the time because she protected her 65 drama students in her office during the shooting. She is being honored at the Tony Awards, which is going to be fantastic. It is an award that recognizes, this is done with
Carnegie Mellon.
Carnegie Mellon, sorry. It recognizes a K through 12 theater educator in the U.S. who has demonstrated monumental impact on the lives of their students. She will earn $10,000 for her program and get tickets to the Tonys and the after party. So, Melody, I hope to get to meet you and congratulate you in person.
And we have a new show people telling you all about the person who brings the not-so-simple sponge to life.
You're so good, Caitlin.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah. So Ethan Slater, Tony nominee and star of SpongeBob SquarePants, is on Show People with Paul won tour.
With me.
That's the name of the show, and it's also with Paul. So that's really exciting. So you got to see more about him and his wrestling past.
Yes, a lot of wrestling videos out there. I
Lots of
didn't know
wrestling
about.
videos.
Excuse me, I have a ginger shoe.
Oh,
a lot of
wow.
wrestling videos. Talked about his mom. Who passed
We
away
hadn't
when
really
he
heard
was
about
young.
that aspect of his story
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And about his fiance and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
check that
about
out.
his fantasy SpongeBob Squarepants camp.
Oh yeah.
That too.
Sign
Watch
me
it.
up.
It's fun.
Sign me up.
All right, Beth's gonna go watch it right now.
Okay.
You go do that. Why don't you tell us, Caitlin, about today's guest?
Awesome. Guys, today we have Adam Kaplan in the studio. He's currently starring in A Bronx Tale as Calogero. I think I said that right. His previous Broadway credits include Newsies and leading Kinky Boots' first national tour as Charlie, and he also did it in Japan. He was also in Showboat at the New York Philharmonic. His TV and film credits include Deception, Maha and Theo, and The Point of Divergence. Be sure to follow him on social media at Adam S. Kaplan and leave your questions for him in the comments below. Everyone, welcome Paul and Adam.
What's up, Adam Kaplan?
Hey, Paul.
How's it going?
I'm good.
How's the Broadway?
It's a dream as always.
Yeah.
The Broadway's we're literally right across the street at
Yep.
the Longacre Theater and having a hell of a good time now that Chaz Palminteri's in the show.
Yeah. So okay, we're gonna get to that. That's,
Okay.
That's
I don't wanna
obviously
jump ahead.
major-
Yes.
That's major news. So how long have you been in it now? I mean, I interviewed you right when you were first going in.
Yeah, it's been like 7 months. I started in November and yeah, 7. That's
Sure.
Right, Caitlin? That's
Yeah, I
sure.
think that's
Right.
what you
That's
told me
right.
earlier.
Okay, great. 7 months.
I wasn't great at math either. So how long? How are you in the rhythm of it? Is it like?
Yeah, I feel like after the first couple months, it felt like, all right, this is second nature now. I go in. It feels like it's a job, you know, but it's the best job in the world, and I get to do what I love every day. But at the end of the day, it's where I go to work. So
Right.
I've settled into the role. I feel like I've found my own rhythm with it. And then every now and then we stir things up and add new cast members.
Yeah. So let's talk about this.
Yes.
So Chaz Palminteri. First of all, you say you met him when you were 10.
Yeah, I met Chaz when I was 10.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so you know, we have the great ones, like in the, you know, Sonny says you only get 3 great ones in your life,
Right.
and those are your 3 loves. So one of my mom's former great ones happens to be a friend of Chaz, and we were at his son's birthday party when I was like maybe 10 years old.
Okay.
And my brother and I were obsessed with the movie Bronx Tale, and we went up to Chaz and introduced ourselves. So when I had my audition for it, he was like, "Have we met before?" And I was like, "You definitely don't remember me because I was this big." But I guess he had heard the story from
Okay.
his friend.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I do look like very similar. Like
I
I'm-
can see that.
I still have a baby face. But
Yeah, I picture you like 60 years old with a baby face.
yeah, there
That's
you
just
go.
going to be your face. So Chaz is now in the show. So
Yeah.
let's just, let's just recount this. So it was a one-man show.
Yep.
Then it became a movie.
Yes.
And Chaz was on stage as a one-man show telling his story. Then
Yeah,
it became
I
a
played all like
movie.
17 parts.
Yes. And then it became a movie. And then of course he actually came back and did the one-man show again on Broadway. I saw that.
Yeah,
I
right at
remember.
the Walter Kerr.
Yes, exactly. And then it's a musical. It became a musical. He was not in the show.
No.
But now he is.
Yeah.
Because Nick Cordero is what? He's busy during
Nick
the week.
Nick is filming during the week. So what they've done is they've asked Chaz to step in on during the week while Nick films, and Nick's there on the weekends. So it's a ridiculous deal that I get. I get to act opposite an Oscar nominee during the week and then a Tony nominee on the weekends. So it's not a bad gig.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, he played this iconic role in the movie, and when
Yeah.
when he came out on stage the first night, one of the lines that I have is, and everybody treated him like a god, and this woman in the balcony screams, "He is a god!" I was like, all right, so this is the crowd we're getting now.
Yeah, so is it getting crazier
It's
over there?
crazy. The stage door is amazing. I mean, it always has been. We've had our loyal fans, but now it's Chaz's fans in addition to the Bronx Tale fans.
That's amazing. And what's it been like rehearsing with him and actually going from, you obviously were dealing with him. He was at your audition, like you
Yeah.
said, and he would come around and you would go to his restaurant, I'm assuming, and have pasta.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff like that.
always ordered chicken parmesan.
Chicken parm. And does his restaurant deliver to the theater ever? Is that an option?
I think they do, but it's so quick. It's like it's right on 45th Street,
Oh.
46th Street. So we'll walk or take a car.
I have to go to the new location. I haven't been there yet.
It's really great.
Yeah.
We'll go, and get the chicken parm.
Okay. Oh, you don't have to
Yeah.
twist my arm for
All
that.
right.
That's like 101.
But it's so yeah. He was always by the theater. I interacted with him a lot. He always came and did Broadway Care speech, audience appeals, which everybody loved, and but rehearsing with him is a different beast. You know, Chaz hadn't done musicals before. He was in a rock band growing up, but he's used to the TV and film world and this, you know, straight plays where he didn't have to worry about his voice and singing. So he's actually really confided in myself and Richard Blake, and it's cool having Chaz, you know. I give him these ginger chew chimes, and I like made him a care package for his opening. But I mean, he's an icon. The guy's a star. He's had such a ridiculously cool career, and one that I hope to have one day. And he keeps it fresh. The other night on stage, he just added something from his one-man show, and I luckily have to be wide-eyed in the show, and I was just like sitting there like, where are you going with this? And it works, and the audience eats it up. So
he's keeping you on your toes.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Nothing gets old.
No.
And so does it? Maybe he's like a little vulnerable, maybe because, like you said, like he's asking you guys about doing a musical. So it might be kind of cool to see a guy like that who we think of having such like swagger and confidence, and maybe he's kind of like it's showing
totally
a different side of him.
He was talking to us when I first joined the show, and he was saying, yeah, when I walk down the street, sometimes these like mothers will like protect their kids because they know me from these movies and they think that I'm this mob boss. But in reality, he's a teddy bear. He's got so much heart. That's what our show is about. So it is cool to see him though in this very, like you said, vulnerable light, and he. You know, he cares about this show. He cares about the story, and he really just wants to do an amazing job, and he is. It's really cool to see.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Has your family been at the show a lot? I know you talked about they're in Connecticut.
They're in Connecticut.
They're close by.
Yeah, so they've seen the show. My dad, at least, has seen it like maybe 10 times already, at least. And he's been at the theater a lot when Chaz has been there, so Chaz keeps going up to me and goes, Adam, is your father coming to the show? Like to bust my chops. And I was like, no, Chaz, he doesn't want to see you in it, actually.
He's going to come on the weekend.
So
see the Tony nominee.
Yeah, there you go. So, but he's definitely coming back. But Chaz was like, tell your father to give me, you know, a couple weeks. But my parents will be back. My sister saw it yesterday. They're always around, the Kaplans.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting for the Kaplans. This is a big moment for the Kaplans.
Oh my God, it's huge. Like when, I don't know if I said this in that first interview that we did, but when I first went on for Jack Kelly and Newsies on my like first scheduled date, our company manager said that he just watched my dad because we had like a receiving line of people. It was like my bar mitzvah, like everybody, he just like was shaking hands like one by one because half of the audience was there because my dad probably forced everybody to come see the show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What was the first time you got on stage?
First time I got on stage was a porcupine in Winnie the Pooh.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was the pivotal role of the porcupine.
Iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you wear for that?
I wore a sweatsuit, a brown sweatsuit. My hair was spiked.
Cool.
And my dad actually made the costume. My parents are in the my dad's a doctor, like, but
yeah.
His claim to fame was that he was Chino in his high school production of West Side Story.
Is there any evidence of that? Probably not.
I think there is.
Really?
Yeah, and his Maria, I think, came and saw she's seen the show. So, we can corroborate the story.
Okay.
But he cut off like broom bristles and hot glued them. So it was advanced stuff.
Yeah, it's a good look for you, I'm sure.
Thanks.
Hey, Caitlin.
Yes.
Are there any questions from the fans online?
Of course. We have a ton of questions.
All right.
Danielle wants to know if you could play any other character in A Bronx Tale, who would you want to play?
I think that I'd want to play Sonny.
Yeah.
The brilliant thing about Sonny is that he is this bad guy, but the audience just like eats him up. And it's such a brilliantly written role in that regard because he does so many terrible things. He starts off the show, and spoiler alert, he kills a guy.
It's like the opening number.
It's the opening number. So
yeah.
And also
You'll be
like
fine.
you should know this by now. And he kills this guy right in front of you, but instantly you still are mesmerized by him and you fall in love with him. So I'd say Sonny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would like
what
to
would
say
you
that.
do? What part would you play?
I'm not an actor.
Okay.
I'm not an actor. But your leading lady, Christiane Pitts,
Yes.
she's actually leaving you soon, isn't she?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm in denial.
She,
Christiane, don't go.
She's going from you to a big beast,
King
a big
Kong.
ape, monkey,
Yeah.
King Kong. She's going to be the lead in King Kong.
I'm so excited.
That's
She's
cool.
a star. She's unbelievable, and she's so giving on stage too. And from day one, just welcomed me with open arms.
Right.
So I'm gonna miss her a lot.
She's going to be a new leading lady soon.
Yeah, I think they're auditioning like as we speak.
Any minute. Any minute. Right, find out. So, so that keeps the show fresh, right? How
Yeah.
much of the cast is from the original at this point?
Um,
From opening night?
I would say about half.
Okay.
I'd say about half. When I first joined, the majority of the principals minus myself and Christiani were all original.
Yeah.
When I came in.
Yeah.
And then I'd say maybe 3/4 of the ensemble. And so now we're probably at half. But it's like a family, and we have a pretty high retention rate. People want to stay there.
Yeah. It's a good gig.
It's a great gig.
Yeah. That's right across the street from Springsteen.
Yes.
Yeah, so I walk by that. I walk down that street every day after work.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect.
You see all the people waiting for me?
Totally. Yeah, totally. It's a perfect I saw when they replaced the front of house with you. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Did you go take a picture?
Oh, duh.
A lot of selfies.
Yeah,
in
our
front
stage manager texted me, and she was like, "It's up." And I ran to the theater.
But it's funny, the Springsteen it's like perfect. Those are the perfect audiences to blend together.
They
it's
could
very
go,
Jersey
just
on
jump
that.
right across the street.
Yeah.
Just bounce back and forth.
Yeah, 48th Street is Jersey down.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. What else we have, Caitlin?
Yeah, Critter wants to know if you
Oh.
could make a musical out of any movie, what movie would you pick?
I think I went to college with this Critter.
Oh.
But thank you, Critter, for asking. If I could make, I know that this is in the Italian vein as well, but I love the movie My Cousin Vinny,
Oh.
and I think that it would be a great musical as well.
Yeah, I could see that.
Cosign.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who would. I'm not really. Well, I'm not. I don't know if I'm Italian enough to be like the two guys that get caught.
Mm-hmm.
But that Vinny role, that's like a Tony. That's right there.
Yeah.
It's a Tony Award winner.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Right.
interesting.
Give us 2 years. It'll be out there.
That Marissa Tomei role. I mean, she won the Academy Award for
I
that.
know.
So like,
I know.
it could happen.
You pull off the Italian thing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
I think so.
I mean, like you pull it off. I mean, did you trick Chaz? Did he know you weren't Italian? Did it matter to him?
I think that initially when they were first casting the show, Bob De Niro and Chaz and the whole creative team, they were very set on having an Italian cast because it's an Italian story.
Yeah.
So everybody's name, like in that line in Jersey Boys, ends with a vowel. We got Conagati, Conti, Cordero, Kaplan, So maybe I added a Sharpie onto my resume. They didn't ask though.
Right.
But I came with the hair slicked back. I wore all black. I had a pizza. not really. Not really, but it fooled them, I guess.
What else, Caitlin?
Yeah, a lot of people want to know what your favorite line from the show is.
Oh. I love saying at the end of the show, I went out into the world and I kept my promise. I became somebody. Because that also hits home. It hits home for me because I'm standing on the edge of the stage. I'm talking to the audience. I'm getting chills talking about it. I'm on a Broadway stage and I say I went out into the world and I kept my promise. I became somebody. I did it. So that's probably my favorite line to say in the show.
What's your dream role?
For a while it was Tony in West Side Story because it's the show that made me want to be in music theater. But now I really just want to originate something and be a part of creating that. Maybe in 20 years though, I would love to play Leo Frank in Parade.
Nice.
I love that score.
Do it alone, Leo.
Yes. I wouldn't sing that song, but you could sing it.
Who would be your
Lucille?
Lucille?
Cara Lindsay.
Sure.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Right?
All right.
Great.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Anything. I would do anything
for
with
it.
Cara Lindsay.
How
so.
many times did you perform with her in Newsies?
So I went on about 30 times.
Okay.
And she left about halfway in. So
Right.
let's just say 15.
Break
Sure.
even.
Math. And then I got to go on a bunch with Leanna Hunt, and I never went on with Molly Jobe, who was the other understudy, but Caitlin Coughlin I went on a bunch.
Uh-huh.
I did a couple of mid-show Jack Kellys, and
You
that
just
was
jump
fun.
in?
I jumped in one rode off and one rode on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
what
I was there
happens
for
to
one of
Jack
those.
Kelly's in Act 1 that made them have to leave? They're just sick, or
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Stuff
hard.
happen- Oh
It's
my
hard.
God, it's
Did
hard.
these help? Did these help?
Chimes. Yes. Speaking of which,
Did your chimes?
yeah. So we had this. So Gilbert Bailey, Bradley Gibson, and I share a dressing room at the Long Acre, and we're like in this very small space. And one day we just went live on Instagram, and it happened to be 3 minutes before places, so we started doing it every day, and we called it Live at 343. So 3 minutes. 3 of us for 3 minutes. And
Got
we
it.
had to say that we were sponsored by something, and I love Chimes. So I was like, sponsored by Chimes. And finally, we worked Chimes down enough to send us lots and lots.
I
So
love
brought
it.
some
Love
today.
it.
I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you for bringing the chimes.
Oh,
I
duh.
appreciate that. Anything else you want to share, Caitlin?
Yeah, I have one question, and that is, what is the last show that you saw that gave you chills?
Oh, do you get to see shows?
you get to
How's your,
see
is your
shows?
schedule?
It's hard. You know,
Yeah.
it's tough because we're on like the
The same
Monday
schedule.
off. But this past week, because it was Memorial Day, we got to go. We had Wednesday night off. So my family and I went and saw Taylor Trench and Dear Evan Hansen.
I saw you posted that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Taylor was my acting TA when I was a freshman in college.
Okay.
Went to
Wow.
the same school, and I was always just in awe of him and his abilities. And then to see him do something like that role, I mean, I was obsessed with Ben's performance and
Ben Platt.
Ben Platt, and I didn't get a chance. Why am I blanking? Who came right after Ben?
Noah
Noah
Galvin.
Galvin.
Noah Galvin.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see Noah, and I'm sure he was amazing. And what I was so amazed by Taylor is that he just did something totally different.
Yep.
And he didn't try to fit that role into a box, and he's brilliant. So
He
go
is.
see him.
He is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What show are you dying to see that you?
I'm dying to see Mean Girls
Yeah.
because I'm jamming out to I'd Rather Be Me.
Okay. Is that
Barrett and I also went to school together, and I'm
Oh.
dying to see her in that. So Mean Girls I really want to see. I really want to see Carousel.
Mhm.
But I've actually been lucky in that I've seen most of the shows this season.
Cool.
But those, I think, are the 2 musicals left that I have to see.
Yeah, it's hard when you have a gig.
Life is hard on Broadway.
Being a Broadway star on
It's
Broadway.
really tough.
What's your favorite thing about your life now?
My favorite thing about my life
Do you
now,
have like when you're in a show?
Yeah.
Does it give you a sort of like? Are you a little more relaxed about? I
Oh,
mean, I know you're always
absolutely.
looking for like other things and your career. but-
Totally. Yeah. I am a very forward thinker in that, you have to be in this
Yeah.
business, like you said. But the nice thing is that right now I'm attached to Bronx still, and I
Yeah.
can't leave
Right.
happily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I get to live my life and just do what I love. Also, the great thing about A Bronx Tale is that it's 2 hours with an
Yes.
intermission.
Yes.
And so we're done by 9.
Yeah.
And I feel like I get to also have like a little bit of a social life,
Mhm.
more so than I've had previously.
Cool.
So that's what I love about my life
Yeah.
right now.
And you're on the front of house.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. Bruce Springsteen looks at you. Like, who's that kid on the front of the house over there? When
No,
walks
he
out?
knows. He goes, oh, there's Adam.
There's Adam. What's up,
Yeah.
Adam? Thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
by.
thanks for having me,
Thank
Paul.
you for the ginger
Oh my
chew.
God, of course.
Thank you for the sponsorship.
Sponsor us.
Everyone, go see A Bronx Tale at the Long Acre Theater on 48th Street. Thank you. Hey, Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Taking us out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on today's Live at 5. We are live at 5 on Facebook every single day. Our podcast version of today's episode will be up right after this. And remember, we don't do Live at 5 on Fridays over the summer, so make sure you tune back in on Monday when we're with Shakespeare in the Park's Othello star Chukwudi Iwuji. Have a great weekend.